meeting. Today is November 20th, 2020. And before we get started, we'll first do the Pledge of Allegiance. So if we ask everybody to stand.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation,
nation,
under God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty, and justice for all.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. And first up today is Hugh King.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to report that I'm sure you've seen this, that the Panago and the Hook windmills are lit.
Yeah, I saw that last night. It looks
If
great.
you're driving around. Thank you, Superintendent Collins and your crew.
Welcome, Hugh. Thank you.
Okay, we'll start. Well, I gave everybody questions last week. I believe Trustee Brown, you can go first if you'd like.
Sure. You asked me about the Beecher Hand House and Lyman Beecher. Of course, the Beecher Hand House, we all know, is Village Hall at 86 Main Street, which is on the corner of Main Street and Hunting Lane. It was built sometime in the mid 18th century, and it was bought by Lyman Beecher in 1799. And he lived there with his wife until about 1810. He was one of the first preachers at the Presbyterian Church. And in order to supplement his meager salary at the church, he and his wife opened up a private school at Village Hall, and they taught there. He was rather famous for his work in the temperance movement and the abolitionist movement. And his daughter, of course, had written Uncle Tom's Cabin. And subsequently after that, the Hand family, I believe, bought it in the 1850s, and they renovated it. And it was a post office. And then in 1994, the village acquired it as a historic building. And that's where we operate out of at Village Hall.
Oh, great. If you walk into Village Hall, where the reception area is, that was their parlor.
Yes.
And I think that's where the Beechers slept at night. Where the mayor's office and the library is, I think that's where the school was that Mrs. Beecher had. And where the village administrator is, I believe, were rooms where the students stayed. It was a boarding school, right?
Yes.
Here's a beauty. When I got to Home Sweet Home, there was an embroidery piece by Sarah Isaacs Payne, John Howard Payne's sister, and on the back it said, "Done at Mrs. Beecher's school." So for the last 15 years, we've been telling everybody that is wrong, okay? We think it was done in Connecticut. So I was going to bring this piece down and hang it in the Village Hall, but I've changed my mind, okay? We find out it was wrong. Thank you. Mayor Larson.
All right, so my question was a little more difficult than Rose's. Mine had 3 parts, which, I don't know. Someone seems to be the teacher's pet here, but...
I can't help it if I'm his favorite.
Yeah. I gave her the
my question was...
I thought so too, Hugh.
Yeah.
I was given 3 previous mayor names, and I had to research what businesses they had prior to being mayor or while being mayor. So the first one was Judson Bannister, and he owned the steam laundry on Race Lane, which is now where the where Dopo restaurant is. The second one was Samuel Gregory, and he owned a store on Main Street. But I don't know what he sold, Hugh. I couldn't find that. Do you know?
It was like a hardware good department store kind of place. It burned down, you know. There's a picture of it in the Village Hall of the fire, after the fire.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like, if you look in the old Star, you'll see an ad for his store, and he sold a little bit of everything, I think.
Got it.
Okay.
And then the last one was Steve Marley. And I found that he was the manager of Edwards Theater and later the theater where it is now.
Right. He was also the fire chief during the 1938 hurricane.
Yeah. Judson was a fire chief too. I saw in
That's
there.
right. That's exactly right.
Very interesting. Thanks for having us do that.
All right, thank you. Trustee Minardi,
Hi, good morning.
good morning.
I think my question was the hardest. I don't know. You asked me about when Main Beach got the name tagged Main Beach. And so my research comes back to, obviously, we talked about last month that East Hampton Village acquired the Main Beach parcel in 1937. Before that, Main Beach was generally just called the Bathing Beach in the early part of the 20th century, maybe even in the late 1800s, I don't know. In 1932, there's a property map of East Hampton Village that uses the name, in quotes, Bathing Beach. That term was used up until 1947 village zoning map, and then in 1955, the village property ownership map. The term Main Beach first appeared in East Hampton Star in about 1931 in reference to local school children being taken to the Main Beach. And then by the late 1930s, it was becoming increasingly common to refer to the place as the Main Beach.
Oh,
And
here we go.
don't know exactly when it was shortened to just Main Beach. So that's all I got, Hugh. How'd I do?
Well, that's more than I got. So that was great. What about that? I think that sign that says Main Beach, you know, up there on the pavilion, the big sign, maybe that's from the 1930s when it first went there. Do we know? No? Okay. Okay. Thank you. So now, Trustee Graham, is your question the hardest of anybody?
I don't know if my question was the hardest, Hugh, but I learned more.
Okay.
I mean, talk about teaching old dogs new tricks. I got a little bit of an education on this one. My question was about the LVIS building and specifically its odd architectural feature. But what we called the Gardner Brown House, I always thought was called the Gardner Brown House for the Gardner family and then a family called Brown. But no, it was the Gardner Brown House to distinguish it from the Gardner White House further up the street. It was built in 1740. It was originally built closer to the road. There was a time when they wanted to, it was then moved back to its current location. And there was a time in the village when they were talking about moving it back up closer to the road and using the land where the building is now as more parking lot for the Rudersham lot. But that didn't seem to go anywhere. It was interesting that there was a fire in that building that killed a tenant. And apparently our esteemed newspaper editor, David Rattray, when he was in 8th grade, there was a rumor around that the corpse was found headless and that the head was in the somewhere on the property, and it made them walk quickly when they went past it. This is back when Mr. Rattray was in 8th grade or so. At any rate, the in addition to being the British headquarters during the Revolution, the accessible from the attic was a secret room where you pull up a hatch in the attic floor and there would be room for 8 men in that little secret room. And that's what I came up with.
Right. Well, that's great.
Yeah,
I'm
that's nice.
LVAS has sold that head yet. Okay. The other thing about the Gardner Brown house or the LVIS house, it has a gambrel roof where the roof doesn't come down straight. It comes down like in 2 sections, just like Clinton Academy. And I think that was the first gambrel roof built in the village. Okay. Trustee Melendez.
Hi, good morning. My question was 3 roads that were named after ministers, which are easy: James, Beale, and Hunting. Also, Buell used to be called Sag Harbor Turnpike. And reading about this just made me aware of all the ministers, their positions they had. And I was reading about James, Thomas James, and he was not just a minister, but he also was a trustee and secretary, and he was a translator and fought for the rights of political rights. So I learned a lot. I'm happy to be doing this.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for adding that. Also, the Sag Harbor Turnpike, I believe Mayor Larson lived on that road at one time. Is that right?
No, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to you, Hugh.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You lived on the turnpike on 114, didn't you, at one time?
On Buell Lane, yes.
Yeah, Buell Lane. It's 114, the Sag Harbor Turnpike. Okay, great.
Right.
Thank you. Okay, now next time at the December, I think, 3rd meeting, you'll be able to ask me a question, okay? And then I checked with the mayor about this, or the board, on the December 20th meeting. Could we all relate a favorite Christmas memory? Okay, at the December 20th. And if you want, board members, we could include the village attorney and the village administrator in the favorite Christmas memory, if they so desire, and Mrs. Lester.
Oh, boy.
That's up to you now. Okay, that's it. That's all I got.
Thanks, Hugh.
Thank you.
All right, our next presentation up, I'm going to turn it over to Captain Long to make the introduction. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, members of the board and the public. My name is Captain Anthony Long. Just wanted to speak to the board today about Park Mobile, which the mayor and village administrator had brought to my attention as a solution for our potential paid parking program that we're looking into. This would supplement our current free parking that the village will continue to offer at no charge, 1 hour on the streets, 2 hours in the parking lot. The Park Mobile program would be used to supplement that for additional time parking. It would be used to allow members of the public to pay for an additional hour or 2 hours up to a maximum of 4 hours, allowing them to continue to shop, to go to the theater, and allow them to stay longer than the current maximum. So we have been looking for some time at various options for this. There are a lot of factors. And we met with Park Mobile, and we're very impressed. They have a very large footprint in the U.S. and in the north, specifically in the Northeast in New York. It's used quite a bit on the island, and we've reached out. I have reached out to some municipalities that currently use it, and they're very happy with it. It's very easy for the public to use. It's an app-based paid parking service. You can enter your information, plate number, payment information into the system prior to parking. That way, when you do come in and park, for instance, if you wanted to go into the Rudishan lot and stay 4 hours, you could pull in, enter your location, which would be a zone number. Different parking areas would be delineated by zone numbers, and you could just pay to park for 3 hours or 4 hours, and then go into dinner and go see a movie. So it's very easy for the public to use. And they also have an option where we can call a phone number. If you don't have a smartphone, you don't have an app, or if you don't want to use the app, you can just call the phone number and pay for the parking. So I know we have Mr. Blum, Lex Blum, here from Park Mobile, who does have a presentation. Mr. Mayor, if we wanted to turn it over to him, or I can answer any questions, or.
Well, why don't we watch the presentation, and then if anyone has questions, we can go from there.
Okay, so.
Morning, Lex.
Good morning, everybody. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All good.
Okay, good morning, everybody, board. the public. Thank you, Captain Long, for that brief introduction. My name is Lex Blum. I'm the Regional Sales Manager in the Northeast here at Park Mobile. Today, I've got a short presentation just outlining what our company does and how we'll be working, hopefully working with the village soon. Feel free to jump in with any questions, or we can save any questions that might pop up for after. So give me a minute and I will share my screen here with you. Can everyone see my screen all right? Just give me a thumbs up. All right. Powering smart mobility for the village of East Hampton. So I've got a short video for you, and just give me a thumbs up if the sound is working. Sometimes it's tricky via Zoom.
Looking for a smarter way to pay for parking? Download the Park Mobile app. The Park Mobile app lets you easily pay for parking right from your mobile device. You'll even get alerts when your time is about to expire, so you can extend your time. You can set up the Park Mobile app in just a few simple steps. First, download the app for your Apple or Android device. Use your email address to create your account. To complete the sign-up process, provide your license plate number and state where your vehicle is registered. Then set up your method of payment. Once you've completed these steps, you are ready to start using the Park Mobile app. When you park at a Park Mobile location, find the zone number for your spot. It will be located on the stickers and signs that you will see around the parking meters. Next, select the amount of time you'd like to park in that spot. Confirm your information and touch the Start Parking button. In the app, you will see a countdown clock showing how much time is remaining in your parking session. You will even have the option to extend your parking session. Park Mobile, a smarter way to park. Looking for a...
So why is the village choosing to work with Park Mobile? Well, a couple of reasons. Park Mobile is the largest mobile payments provider in the US. We have a user base of over 21 million users nationwide. We process over 9 million monthly transactions. So to put that in perspective, we process more transactions under $10 than any other private company in the nation. So lots of small parking transactions happening lots of times throughout the day. We work with 400 plus municipalities throughout the nation. A lot of those are actually in the Northeast, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. We've got a great presence here in the greater tri-state area. We work with 41 of the top 100 cities. We work with airports and lots of universities as well. We can easily be found in the navigation category of the App Store, only behind Waze and Google Maps. So we're easy to find. If you just type in P or PA, will be the first one that pops up. We're adopted by over 1 in 13 US drivers. And one of the great things about Park Mobile is that once you have it downloaded on your phone, you're able to use it as you travel across markets. So whether you're in the village of East Hampton or coming to New York City for the day, you can use the app the same you would be using it in either, in either area. You can use it as you travel. So you can use it for on-street parking and off-street parking and lots and garages as well. So how does the app work? It's a simple, intuitive user flow that really helps to eliminate friction. So you start off by downloading the app on your iPhone or Android device. You'll select or enter a Park Mobile zone, and those zone numbers will be displayed on signage throughout the village that we help supply. So you'll simply pull into a space. You'll look for that zone number on a sign, or you can use the map feature in the app to simply click on that zone that you've parked in, and everything is GPS coordinates, so you'll know exactly where you're parked. You'll choose your parking time, vehicle, and payment method, and we accept all major credit cards, including emerging payments such as PayPal, Apple Pay, and Google Pay. So you've got some options with the payments which you'd like to make. You'll click Proceed to Checkout, and on that checkout screen, you'll be shown your zone number, the parking duration that you're about to pay for, the payment method, the price, and then you'll also be shown the vehicle. So if you're coming from a household with multiple vehicles, you can easily toggle between the vehicle that you're currently in. And we have that in big and blue right before you click Start Parking, because we know how often some may switch vehicles on a daily basis. Once you click Start Parking, your session has begun, and then you are given that countdown timer on that next screen. So you'll know exactly how much time you have left on the meter. So what are some of the perks of using Park Mobile? Well, it's easy to register and start your first session. Simply download the app, enter your email address, enter a payment method, and you're ready to start parking. You can save your favorite and recently used parking zones. You can easily extend your parking session on the go. So let's say you've paid for an hour parking initially, and dinner's taking a little bit longer. You'd like to extend that session. You can easily do that by going into the app and clicking the extend button, which will allow you to extend that session up to the maximum time allowed for that given street or that zone. You can use the app in thousands of locations nationwide. So whether you're in East Hampton or you might be traveling throughout the nation, you can use this app from east to west and north to south. You can customize your parking expiration reminders. So if you've got 15 minutes left on your parking session, you can actually go into your account settings and you can turn on those notifications to be sent in a variety of ways, including text, email, and in-app notifications. You can get all three, you can get none. You've got some flexibility there. And like I mentioned before, you can add up to 5 vehicles to your account. So if you've got multiple cars in a household, you can easily toggle between which one you're using for that session. We have a feature-rich customer experience. So I mentioned a couple of these features, but you've got those customized parking alerts, and you can set them before or during your parking session. You can set them to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 minutes. You can get walking directions back to your car. Doesn't really apply so much for East Hampton, but if you're in a major city that you've never been to before, this is a feature that actually gets used a lot. We know exactly where you park based on your GPS coordinates, so you can easily find your car once you're ready to return. And then you can easily extend those parking sessions directly in app by the hour and minute, or you can simply max out the meter up to the maximum time allowed in that zone. Captain Long mentioned this, but if you don't have the app on your phone or you don't have a smartphone, there is another way to pay for parking by calling a 1-800-IVR number. It's an automated system, so it'll ask for your license plate information, how long you're staying, your zone number, your payment method, and you'll be able to start a parking session that way as well. And we are looking forward to hopefully working with the village soon, and I am here to answer any questions for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Lex. Does anybody have any questions?
It sounded good to me. I've been in the city, I've used the app myself. When will we be discussing the zone configurations that he was referring to? That was one question I had. And the other question I had is, I realized that for 2 hours, and I want to reiterate this for everyone who's watching, there'll be no charge for parking. It's only the additional hour, the third hour. So, if you do not want to pay for parking, nothing has changed for you. You'll still have that 2-hour parking in Skank Lot and Rue de Chien, which I think is important for people to be reminded about. And there won't be any of the ticket stubs, for you to get from the ticket machine and make sure you put on your dashboard. So I think that's going to be, user-friendly and good for our environment, not to have those little tickets scattered around the parking lots. I'm interested to discuss the configuration of the parking and what areas, we're discussing for paid parking. That was my question. Not really maybe necessarily a question for Lex, but maybe as a board.
Yeah, I just had a question, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but I just wanted to make sure. This does interface with the auto chalk program that we'll be using?
Correct. So we will integrate to the system that you're going to be using for enforcement purposes. So any Park Mobile transaction made will be sent over to that system. So enforcement officials will know if they've paid via Park Mobile, creating a really seamless workflow. It'll all be LPR based, and we're actually working with that company now to get that integration completed.
I do have to say I'm pretty excited about this. As far back as when I was chief, I was pushing for the enforcement package that we have now, and I've been talking about paid parking for as long as I can remember, because it's going to really help the businesses, and it's going to help us in the village to provide other services that we need for the village. So it's an exciting time. And on top of that, when the board doesn't know this, but I've been in talks with Sag Harbor Mayor Mulcahy and also the mayor in Southampton Village. And they're all looking at doing this and launching it at the same time as we do. That's kind of the plan. So it's exciting, and we have 3 villages all on the same platform. So are there any other questions for Lex or for Captain Long before we move on?
Yeah, what's the cost of this?
That's the best part. There's no cost. The Lex's company will collect 35 cents per transaction, and it goes to comes out of what we're making.
Okay.
Is that correct, Lex? Am I right?
Yep, that is correct. There are no capital expenditures to the village to get this program up and running. We provide all of the signage free of cost. We help with the hosting fee setup, implementation, all of that is included in that transaction fee that we collect. That'll be coming out of the parking revenue from the village, and it'll actually be 30 cents per transaction. So every time somebody uses the app, it'll be a 30-cent transaction fee to the village.
Okay, 100% in support of this.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, it's something we've all been discussing and agree upon, that the additional hour will be a big help to the businesses and restaurants in the commercial core. It's something that, we've been talking about in the last year or so. So I'm happy that, we're moving on it. When will we be discussing, Jerry, the configuration and what areas we are actually charging for parking?
We've already started talking about that with Captain Long. So if you want to sit down with him and go over it with him, and then we'll see if we're all on the same page or not. It'd probably be easier that way. Or we could talk about it, we could schedule it, and we could talk about it at a work session.
That might be a good idea.
Maybe that would be easier, Rose. We'll do it at a work session, and we'll let the captain present it, and then we can hash it out at the work session.
Sounds good to me.
Yep, sounds good.
I love this. I also think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you go into the parking lot for less than 2 hours, you don't need to do anything. So again, that it's not like the residents or non-residents or anyone that wants to park has to go through this process if they're not there for 2 hours. And if they are, they can simply log on from wherever they are and initiate the paid parking. So I really like this idea.
And I like the idea that there's the 1-800 number for people who don't want to download the app and so forth, or don't have a smartphone, so there's another option for them.
Yeah.
Rose, just so you know, we were also talking about if somebody doesn't have a phone,
yeah,
how would they set up parking? So instead of having a kiosk, which run about $10,000 a piece, the captain and I were talking, remember years ago, we used to have dedicated phone line in the parking lots that you could pick up and it would dial 911.
Mm-hmm.
We could do something like that, where we could identify that dedicated phone line that would only call Park Mobile.
Yeah, that was one of my questions.
If we start running into an issue where, somebody's complaining or people are complaining that they don't carry phones or something. So
I know, or they forget.
Yeah, there's going to be somebody.
Yeah, well,
a lot of people run out of batteries, like their phone's dead, and that does happen. So,
I mean, I don't think having a kiosk would be a bad idea. One standalone kiosk in each lot, one in Rudishan, one in Skank, but I understand they're expensive. So if the phone would work,
I think the phone would be cheaper.
yeah, they're not. It also, the kiosk, our understanding is that, it always has to have internet to it. It has to have power. It has to have maintenance. So it just adds another huge cost to the project. So that's why we've kind of steered away from it. And we're in agreement with Sag Harbor as well. They're steering away from that as well.
Are they using the same Park Mobile
Yes.
program? That's great.
Yes.
Yeah. The only thing we're going to have to educate people about is that if they're in the lot for 2 hours and haven't noted their zone, they're going to have to remember the zone if they're going to try and extend when they're at the restaurant.
Right.
there's a GPS Well, the GPS, they would be in the restaurant, so they wouldn't know.
One of the nice features, Mr. Mayor, one of the nice features about the app is it will tell you where your car's at. So you'll know the zone where you're parked. So that can, and Lex can speak to that in more detail, but that will certainly be a help for people because Trustee Graham is absolutely right. If you leave and then you realize, oh no, the movie's 3 hours, I need to pay for more parking. Where am I at? Or if I'm in the movie theater and I can't leave. So I think that's certainly something Lex can speak to, but it's an option.
Yeah, the other thing,
Zones be, Captain? Tony, how big would the zones be? Like how many zones would there be in the Rudershan lot? Or is that not determined yet?
We're working with Lex to define the zones, but if you're in a 2-hour parking area in the Rudershan lot, I would assume that would be one zone. So if you're in the 30-minute zone along or 15-minute zone along the perimeter, that would be a different zone. If you're in a handicap spot, that would be a different zone. If you're in just the general 2-hour parking, I think we could make the Rudershan lot one large zone unless, Lex had an issue with that with his programmers, but I don't think they would.
Yeah,
That would be
usually
good.
we like to define zones per lot or per street. That way, if someone, stays for 2 hours and then they say, oh, I'd like to extend, they can easily find that lot in the map by just zooming in and noting that zone number. And also in past instances, we've created collateral, with the help of you guys to have flyers, wallet cards to help pass out, especially for visitors who aren't familiar with the village outlay, who might be only coming in for a weekend or a week. And that can help define zone numbers as well. So they can grab it. You can have signage throughout, not only the parking lot, but possibly by the beach as well, just to help them remember that zone number.
all right, great. Anybody else before we move on?
Yeah, one more question. Would we be using this to do daily parking at the beaches?
Yes, that was my plan, yes.
And the system knows that it can only sell so many per day?
Yeah, we can set it to a number of passes per day. And
Okay,
then we could. Yeah, so it's really, it's a smart system.
yep, good.
All right, thanks, Lex.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll jump off
you.
now. Bye-bye.
All right, so now we're going to enter into our regular board meeting now.
Okay,
We're ready for the resolutions.
number one, make a motion to approve claim vouchers for the month of November.
Motion, somebody?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number two, make a motion to approve warrants as listed, general fund number 17, number 20, and number 21, trust fund number 16, capital fund number 23, 18 is a voided LoSAP, and number 19, a LoSAP warrant.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number three, approve budget transfers schedule number 1 dated October 19th, 2020.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 4, approve departmental reports.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 5, deem surplus and approve the disposal of unrepairable equipment, 1 Megaview camera from Main Beach, asset number 2335, and 1 Ricoh printer, tag number E7134 from Village Hall.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 6, approve the $23,124.54 emergency repair of the fire department's ladder truck.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 7, accept the resignations of part-time paramedics Andrew Schultz, effective March 1st, 2020, and Nicole Krisky, effective July 19th, 2020.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 8, employ Christian Londano as a full-time public safety dispatcher, effective December 1st, 2020, at a starting base annual salary of $48,986.01, as per Chief Tracy's November 2nd memo.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried, and I'd like to just take a minute to thank or welcome Christian. He's been a longtime employee of the village. He's a great kid, and we look forward, and hopefully he'll be successful with our dispatch. Remember, that's such a hard job that we have a 50% fail rate on new hires in there. So we wish him the best of luck, and I'm sure he'll be fine. Welcome aboard, Christian.
Nice. Number 9, appoint Kristen Corwin, Vice Chairperson of the Design Review Board, effective immediately.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 10, approve agreement with Penaflex, Inc. for the administration of the Volunteer Firefighter Service Award Program for the 2020 service year, period covering January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021.
So move.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 11, approve $1,789,666 payment constituting the village's retirement system contribution for the fiscal year 2020 to 2021. Employee retirement system is $796,691. Police fire retirement system, $992,975.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 12, approve annual maintenance service contract period November 3rd, 2020 through November 2nd, 2021, at a cost of $4,835 with Mayday Communications for the emergency radio operations, dispatches audio log digital voice recording system, as per Chief Tracy's November 5th memo.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 13, make a motion to approve the annual service agreement period July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021 with Motorola for maintenance and service for the headquarters base station backup consoles in the amount of $28,335.87, as per Chief Tracy's November 9th memo.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 14, approve the proposal received from Bistrian's Materials, Inc. to provide snow removal service for the 2020-2021 season on an as-needed basis.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 15, approve the village joining the Keystone Purchasing Network as per Resolution 18-2018, the procurement policy.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 16, adopt Resolution 71-2020, hereby amending permit fees.
So move.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did we
Passed
want
and
to
carried.
discuss what those permit fees are and the increases, just for the public's sake? Usually we would have it as a work session item and then in the following meeting, have it as a resolution. I just thought maybe, Mayor, you'd like to inform everyone of the changes.
So you have it in front of you, Rose? Go right ahead.
Actually, I don't, so maybe you want to. I could look through my packet.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, June. I don't have it in
Okay.
front of me.
Resolution 71, 2020, on the fees. Design Review Board, the awning permit fee was $25. The increase would be $150. Miscellaneous applications, paint, solar panels on the roof, etc. That was also $25. Now it'll be $200 before the work. If the work is done before approval, it'll be $400. Planning board. Planning board subdivision lot line application from, I believe it was 1,000 to 2,000. Building department demolition permit was $100, increased that to 1,000. Certificate of occupancy and violation search was 100, increased that to 150. Variances were $750, increased that to 1,000 per requested variance, 2,000 if the work has been done prior to the approvals. And that's it.
All right, great.
Thank you.
And these fees were come up with at our weekly staff meeting, which you should have all received those minutes. And that was discussed with our clerk, our treasurer, our department heads, and our lawyer. So that's where that all came from. So thanks for doing that. Next.
Number 17, notice for a public hearing to be held on December 18th, 2020 for introductory number 6-2020, a proposed amendment of Chapter 267 Vehicles and Traffic to discontinue the requirement of displaying parking receipts while parking in the Robert G. Rudishan parking lot and the Barn Skank parking lots.
So
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 18, accept the $52,000 bid received from Keith Grimes, Inc. for the Herrick Park Innovative and Alternative On-Site Wastewater Treatment System Project as per the October 9th, 2020 bid specifications.
so move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried. Thank you.
Number 19, approve the $74,767.76 purchase of two Chevrolet Tahoes at $37,383.88 each from Buzz Chew off the Onondaga bid number 87712021 C4WD as per Chief Tracy's October 29th memo.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. Thank you.
Number 20, deem as surplus and approve trade-in sale by online auction of replaced fire department equipment as listed in Chief Terza's November 13th memo.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 21, adopt a resolution 72-2020, hereby ratifying the Public Safety Dispatchers Association collective bargaining agreement and upon incorporation of the memorandum of agreement into a new collective bargaining agreement, authorize the mayor to execute the collective bargaining agreement on behalf of the village.
So moved. Make the
Second.
motion to accept.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? So carried. We thank our public safety dispatchers for the great job they do.
Number 22, appoint Jack Patrickoff as Director of the Mayor's Youth Council.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. This is a great program that we came up with. Jack is a terrific young man, village resident, who will head up this for Village Hall. And the idea is to get more involvement from our youth and provide community service opportunities, work with government, work with our departments, and just get more involvement from our local youth. So Jack's going to do a great job, and I'm really happy to have this done. Thanks, everybody, for your support.
I think this is great.
Next,
Number 23, notice to bidders for the 5-year lease of the Main Beach concession known as the Chowder Bowl, with the bid opening to be held at 2 p.m. on December 29th, 2020.
Motion to accept.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
I would note that at the top of that, on the copy that I received, the date on the very top at the execution time said 2015. I don't think we're going to do this in 2015. So when it comes time to execute the contract, I assume that date will be adjusted.
Yes. Number 24, approve the Little Free Library at the Nature Trail for 1 year.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried. Is that it, June?
Yep, that's the last one on the agenda.
All right, so that concludes our regular meeting. I'm going to ask for a motion to close, and then we will go into executive session. We have to speak about some litigation, and if we have to return for any reason, we'll notify the public and the press. If somebody will make a motion to close the meeting,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, our meeting's closed. I'll see you at executive session. Everybody have the link?
Yes.
Great.